Hi, I'm Danny with BuyRadarDetectors.com. In this video, we're going to unbox the Whistler CR85 radar detector. This is the most popular model in the Whistler line, offering high performance and great features at a value price. Let's open the box and take a look. Okay, let's get started. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you the box. I'm going to open the box. I'm going to start with the accessories. I'm going to take you through each of the accessories and show you how they connect and what they do. And then we'll power up the radar detector, and I'll show you the display and take you through a few of the menu options. Here's the box. Nothing too fantastic going on here. Nothing out of the ordinary. Start with, we have a non-slip dash pad. This is a kind of nice to have if you don't want to mount your detector on the windshield. You can sit this right on your dash and the detector will not adhere to it, but it's kind of a grippy, rubbery substance. Have our manual. This folds out into a larger than you would think document. Here we have a Hardwire Cord. This is something special that comes with some of the higher end Whistler models. This along with the dash pad. Most radar detectors you're not going to get a hardwire kit with, so this is a nice add-on and a good reason for going with the CR85. The standard power cord. And our windshield mount. I'll show you how that connects in just a moment. Here is the CR85 radar detector. Right side, here is where the power cord connects, and we have power and volume. To turn the detector on, you press this in. While it's on, to change the volume, you're going to go forward or back with the slider. And we have 4 buttons on the top: dark, quiet, city, and menu. This allows you, dark allows you to adjust the brightness. Quiet is your mute button. Menu takes you into the menu, obviously, and city mode allows you to adjust the sensitivity settings. Okay, this is the windshield mount. It's the same general style that you see on most radar detectors. Escort and Beltronics have changed it a little, but the thing I like about Whistler's windshield mount is the suction cups are very, very strong. They are the standard brackets like this. They definitely have the best suction cups. We don't see as many orders for replacement suction cups for Whistler models as with others, and they're just very strong and adhere very well. You also have this little rubber piece here that slides into this hole, and that's going to prevent noise from this bouncing against your windshield. And the way this connects is it just slides into the back of the detector and it'll click into place. Now when you're removing the detector from the mount, you want to be sure to press this release button on the side here. Just pulling it out may damage the clip inside. And now we'll look at the power cord. What's included is a standard straight power cord. Barrel type connector, and it connects to the detector right here, and then into your cigarette lighter or 12 volt plug. Now we'll power up the detector and we'll take a look at the display. Okay, our power cord is connected and we're ready to turn on our Whistler CR85. I'll press in the power button that I showed you earlier, and there we go.
X KA band. Laser.
What you saw there was called test mode. You can turn that off in the menu if you like, but what it does is cycle through a sample of all the alerts and also show you how the current menu options are set up, just to show you what the settings are currently. First thing you're going to notice on this detector is the display. This CR85 is an upgrade of the Pro 78 SE, which was a very popular model, and the display is one of the things that they changed going to the CR85, and I think it was a change for the better for sure. This is a much more crisp and clear display. It looks like the number of dots on the display is significantly higher, and it's easier to read, and this display shows up great in the daytime or night. Now, the display brightness is set by default using an auto brightness mode, where it'll look at the light in the room and or in your car and set the brightness based on that. If the auto brightness turns out to be too bright for you, you can use the dark button here just to dim it somewhat in dim mode. This dark button will also switch to dark mode, which makes the display even darker and shuts the display off completely while you're receiving an alert. We'll go back to standard mode. Auto brightness is something that can be turned off through the menu as well. Something else you probably noticed during the startup sequence were the what's called the Periscope LEDs. When you're getting an alert, these two areas here will flash blue just to help grab your attention. It's a feature that I like, but that can also be turned off through the menu. I really like the CR85 radar detector. It's like I said earlier, the most popular model from Whistler, and there's a reason for that. It's got very good sensitivity and a lot of options. There's a lot of things you can do with this. We're going to see some of them in the menu in just a moment, but it's very configurable. You can adjust a lot of your sensitivity options. If you really take the time to learn how this detector works, you can really do a lot with it, and a lot of people are happy with this model, and for the price, this is a very good option if you're looking to save money versus a higher end like S-Cord or Beltronics model. Let's look at some of our other options here. The quiet button, when you're not receiving an alert, the quiet button puts it into auto quiet mode, which means whenever you receive an alert, it's going to beep loud for a couple of times and then automatically mute itself.
Auto quiet.
Pressing it again will put us in standard mode. If you press the quiet button while you're receiving an alert, it's going to mute that alert at that time. The city button switches the filtering mode from highway to city, and then there's a city 1 and a city 2. Highway is wide open. You're going to get the maximum sensitivity. City mode reduces the sensitivity or in effect reduces the number of false alerts that you're going to get, sort of optimized for city driving where you're going to have a lot of sources of false alerts.
City 1.
City 1 further reduces the sensitivity on X-band. X-band is a band of radar that's not used by police in a lot of areas any longer. Now, if you're in an area where police are using X-band, you definitely don't want to use the low X mode. But if you're in an area where you know police are not using X-band, then you want to reduce it with the low X or go to City 2 mode,
City 2,
which completely turns off the X-band. Now I'll go back to highway mode, and then we'll go through a few of the menu options. To begin with, there are two options right off the top called S1 and S2. If you have something called a Whistler IntelliCord, the IntelliCord has two buttons, and that's going to replace your standard power cord. S1 and S2 allow you to change what those two buttons do on the IntelliCord. You can set options like the detector power, quiet mode, city mode, dim. Just gives you some configurability over what those IntelliCord buttons do. Now this model does not include an IntelliCord, so that's something you'd need to purchase separately if you want the ability to change settings from the power cord. This is the auto dim function I mentioned earlier. You can turn that on or off from here. Tones, you have several tones to choose from. For the alerts that you're going to receive, if you find one set of tones more pleasing than the other, by all means change them. It's tone 2, tone 1, and the default tone 3. This is the test mode setting I mentioned earlier. Turning that off will result in a faster power up process for the CR85. With the next few options, you can turn on and off specific band detection, XKKA laser, and these are specific options for some of the laser settings that you can disable. Now, something else that you may have just seen was KA Max. That's a mode on this detector where it enhances the performance on KA band. So that is on by default. SWS is the safety warning system. That's off by default, and I would recommend leaving it off. The point is to detect certain traffic sensors and things that emit signals to tell you, for example, you're entering a construction zone. They're rarely used, so I would recommend leaving that off. Looks like we had a menu timeout. I'll go back to where we were. This option turns voice prompts on or off. Voice prompts mean when you get an alert, you'll hear the word X band, for example. Pop mode, on or off. Police are using pop mode of certain radar guns. You may want to turn that on. It's off by default. Battery saver. This allows you to adjust the filtering levels of X and K. And there's a separate option to adjust the filtering levels of KA. LED blink disables or enables these laser periscope lights that I mentioned earlier. This is traffic flow signal rejection. If you have certain traffic signals in your area or traffic sensors, they can cause interference on a radar detector, so that may be an option to look at. And that concludes going through the menu. To exit the menu, you can either wait on it to time out or press the power button on the side. I think that pretty much covers everything with the CR85. This has been an unboxing of the CR85 radar detector from Whistler. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to give us a call, email us, or enter our live chat at buyrradardetectors.com. If you like this video and want to see others like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/buyrradardetectors. I'm Danny, and thanks for watching.